Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, and obviously, Brooke, welcome.
Hello.
You know that
Reporting from the chilly van this morning,
I know,
but this
right?
hat keeps me toasty.
You look like you're in the Antarctic.
I feel it's like 30 degrees maybe.
It is. I know it's cold. Yeah,
I don't know where y'all are from, but we're from Delaware, or I'm from Delaware, and it's a chilly morning.
that accent just got really deep, really, really quick there. But ladies and gentlemen, Brooke and I have once again been getting a lot of information about the different same information, but about our growth and uh definitely some ties to how living souls are working together. And they say it all the time, we have to break the cycle of the density. So they insert this, here's a circle, right, and we have to break it to put this light in here and to break that density and start to be the loving beings that we are. And this week has been, actually, the past couple weeks since our last podcast, have been crazy with information. And so what I'm getting and is that there are three different ways in which um our souls are working together, interacting with each other while we live. And that's really what that and our soul's growth are really what we want to talk about today. So three different aspects, and I'll tell you how we're getting this information, which is so amazing. All channeled information, all coming from above, so amazing. But the one is, there are three different ways. One is through your heart. So as you're walking, right, and they tell us all the time, always connect via the heart, right? So that's
Mhm.
one. As you're walking, you actually begin to see people through the heart chakra, and you experience that love from their heart chakra. Even if they're dense people, there's love there. We just have to tap into it. So um so that's one way. The other way is while we're sleeping.
So, as you said that,
Mm-hmm.
so Chris and I started this conversation before the podcast, and I told him, I said, you know what? And we don't talk, like, usually in between podcasts, we don't communicate. And he started talking, and I was just like, you know what? Let's not talk. Let's just roll with this, because I said, you just mentioning soul's growth is telling me that we've been getting the same stuff. So I said, let's just roll with it. I guarantee you, I'm going to have like a story for each one of these. And yeah, this week at work, outside having conversations with some coworkers, and they were just like, Brooke, what is going on in this world? Like right now, what is going on? And when I started explaining to them that all of our souls are trying to connect right now,
Mm-hmm.
but all of this human junk is blocking that from happening. And I said, and what's happening is we're all trying to shed this human junk. And I said, but some people it's easier than others. Some people are having a very, very hard time shedding this human part. And yeah, she's like, like I have friends that like nobody else likes them because they're like, oh, she's mean or she's this or she's that. And my friend was just like, I just see her heart. She's like, and I know that like on the outside she acts a certain way, but she's like, I just know her true heart.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's the thing. And I feel like I got to that point a while ago where I just truly see the other person's soul.
Yep.
No matter how somebody acts. And I walking in the building, she was just like, and this person's crazy, but she's like, we need a new word for that. And I said, there is a term for that. It's called unhealed. I said, somebody's not crazy or just mean or just this. I said, it's simply that human is unhealed. And
Yes.
that's the bottom line. There's not that they're just unhealed.
Yo, and I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, right? What Brooke just said there is so profound. And I will tell you that multiple people that are doing this. When I say doing this, I mean that were sent here to help elevate, like all of us listening, we are here to help elevate. But there's this guy, his name's Fran Javier. I found him on Facebook. The dude is amazing. And literally, said exactly what Brooke said, and just now. And also, why I point that out is because it's validation. There are multiple individuals like us who are getting the exact same information. And just last night, he was indicating the exact same thing Brooke said about the healing aspect. And actually what he said was that it's being revealed. There's these densities are being revealed, and that's exactly what we talked about earlier in last year or sometime in the middle of last year. So there's so much validation and confirmation that's happening here, and what Brooke said is extremely profound. So don't take that lightly. We are all healing, and when we connect via the heart, you are going to find that you see a different sense of somebody. You can actually see that healing take place when you connect via that heart.
I think the technique that got me to where I was, when I say a few years ago, when I found myself more in judgment of people, like I would be mad at somebody or go, oh, why are they doing? But then the way I started looking at it was like, and now when somebody is complaining about somebody to me, I'm just like, but isn't that sad? Where you start off mad at somebody,
Mm-hmm.
you turn to like, but isn't that so sad that they feel like that?
Yep.
And they're like, well, no, I'm like, but think about that. Like, would you want to feel like that? Would you want to be that person? Like, so I started turning my anger into like a kind of feeling sorry for that person. And that helped me to be able to connect more to their heart and have love for them. So
Yep.
that was just a little technique that I did. I would turn my anger into, oh my gosh, I feel so sorry for that person, that they need love.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I started.
Yeah. And to take it even a step further, like the feeling sorry, I even remove and just go,
Yeah,
hey, I just
yeah,
send you light, love.
yeah. So it's like I go from like the anger to turning it to like a sympathy for that person to the love for that person.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you pretty much go from hating that person to being angry with them to the sympathy to the love. And the
Yes.
love is where that's the goal we want to get to.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so the three different ways that our souls are interacting with each other while we are living. We have the physical body, and that's just like our day-to-day interaction, just like Brooke pointed out, when she
Hmm.
was talking to somebody and talk and saying just that, where she starts to tell people about the healing aspect. And then via the heart, what she was just indicating, um, with the, sending them light. And then the
Hmm.
last one is the soul traveling at night. And we'll get more into each of these because each one, they are literally showing me how it's working. So the soul travel, that's one that I really do want to bring up because what's happening or what I've been shown for a while now, and I didn't understand what was going on just recently, about a week ago. I was meditating, and in the meditation, I literally saw a woman and her daughter sleeping, and I was actually in their room. Now I couldn't see them. I could only see their neck up or their shoulders up in bed, and I didn't know why I was there. But all of a sudden, they both woke up and saw me at the side of the bed, and I'm like, "What is happening here? What is going on?" And then it was revealed. This is our soul's communication. Now, what happened next? A day later, right after this, I was contacted by a mother who said, I need help because my daughter is seeing spirits and she needs assistance. And I knew what happened there was me seeing that woman and her daughter, because she was saying that she sleeps with her at night because she's sometimes so scared that um it was my soul's way of saying, hey, I'm here, there is help here, and that you
Yeah.
can come. And it was mind blowing. Like the way that it all worked out, it was so fascinating. And then going through my journal, right, looking at different stories because I've seen this before. And
Hmm.
again, you start to see these patterns, right? So not only am I seeing human spirits, but I've also seen like other beings, maybe not necessarily of the light, but like I was at a campfire once when I was viewing, it's almost like a remote view kind of, but they can
Mhm.
sense that energy. So, but our souls are communicating. Anyway, I saw this. I'll finish that story. I saw these beings, these reptilian people, around a campfire, and then they were looking up at me. They noticed me because they could sense that energy. They noticed me, and then I audibly heard this like this weird noise, almost like this kind of like extraterrestrial noise. It was almost like an ET type of groan, and kind of like get out of here. And then I was gone. But um and they used to try to reach out to me, and Arcturians kicked them out. It was really weird how that all took place. However, my
Ah,
my point here is that our souls are traveling, and what I haven't figured out is how my soul knows or their soul knows to call me or to me go there. I don't know how that is transpiring at the moment, but we
yeah,
are traveling and our souls are interacting. And because there's so many people are coming to me going, I don't even know why I'm here, Chris. Like, I don't even know how I found you. It's so weird how it popped up. And yes, they above are helping that, but your souls are also a large part of that. Even you're like your higher self, your third dimensional self, the soul within your body. And anybody that's taken a session with me, or some people that have taken sessions with me, know that living souls have come through and spoken through me, which I still find to be mind blowing. But what they
yeah.
all say when that happens, what they all say is that we are learning from the way that you are handling a situation. So I'll give you an example. There was this woman, she came to me for a session. Her daughter, who is living, came through, and her daughter said, explained their relationship and why it's happening. And as she explained, as the daughter was explaining, her soul was explaining why this was happening, why things in the relationship were transpiring as they would or they were. She made it clear, and this has happened many times to the mom. But what is also happening is I am learning from the way that you are handling the situation. So if you're going to take this low vibrational mindset to it, that's not going to help things. But if you can rise above and show me a way on a soul's level, I am going to learn from that. And that is why so many souls, when we incarnate, are together. It's because of the way that you handle situations and your growth and your soul over many lifetimes. You are now helping maybe a lower vibrational soul rise above. It's a direct result of your handling it. Sorry, bro.
So this is so cool. And I actually had this thought earlier in this week. So you get your information like through like your channeling and through your meditation, and I get it by they actually physically show me. I will be in all physical encounters to get these
Yes.
lessons.
Yes.
So just this week,
Mm,
my mom is somebody who, if you call her and give her the slightest bit of like not positive news, she's like, oh, you know what I mean? Like it triggers this, like, oh, I mean, it cannot even be that big of a deal. And
mhm.
I'm like, calm down, woman. You know what I mean? Like, I just said that, da, da, da. So she's at my house this week. Are you ready for this?
Totally.
She's at my house this week. My dog comes walking in the room very strangely. I could tell immediately there was something like very wrong with her, like the most wrong I've ever seen something with my dog Tilly. And my first instinct was that somehow maybe her jaw had gotten like underneath of her collar because she was like walking very, it was messed up. Like there was something clearly wrong. And first thing I did was whip her collar off. And my mom's here in the kitchen with me. And it's funny because she's rarely ever at my house these days.
Mhm.
And, you know, and I took the collar off and I realized that was not the problem. And so then I'm starting to think that maybe she's choking. Because I didn't really see her like panting or breathing. So I give her the Heimlich. And my mom, meanwhile, is next to me losing it. Like, what are we gonna do? Like, she's, what are you gonna do? My mom's a nurse. Oh my gosh. She's next to me. What are we gonna do? I was like, okay, mom. I was like, there's only so many things I can do right now. I
Mhm.
was like, I'm going to try the Heimlich again to see if it's still something that she's choking on. So I did. And it wasn't. Like nothing came up, but I did hear air move. So I thought that that was a good thing. It's like, at least I'm hearing air move. So then at this point, like I'm talking to my mom out loud to calm her down. And I was like, Mom, I said, I'm just going to hold her now. I said, I'm just going to put her in my lap. I'm going to put my hands on her. I'm going to hold her and I'm going to give her love. I mean, I was giving her the Heimlich. I done smacked her back a few times, thinking like, the whole back smacking thing. You know what I mean? We know
Uh,
it works, Chris.
yes, we do.
And so at this point, I just laid her down on me and, she's shaking and I just kind of put my hands on her. And so, yes, I was praying, but like, I'm trying to calm my mom at the same time. I'm like, Mom, there's only two things we can do right now. I was like, I have my hands on her and I'm praying for her, and I'm sending light and healing to her right now. I said, now, if she does have something lodged in her throat, I was like, she maybe has a minute or minute and a half to live. And I said, but if not, she's going to be fine. She'll recover from whatever this is. But my mom is like, how are you staying so calm? But my thing is, I'm like, what else do you want me to do right now? Like, me freaking out is not going to make the situation any better or worse. So but it's like, even until he ended up being fine, she ended up, like a vomiting thing, she ended up getting sick
Mhm.
and then she stopped shaking. She got up and walked away.
Wow.
But the
Wow.
whole time, my mom is like literally saying out loud, how are you being so calm? How are you
Yep.
being? And I was just like, Mom, there's no other way for me to be right now. Like, this is just how, you know what I mean? Like, what do you
Yeah.
want me to do?
Yep.
This is going to have two outcomes.
Yep.
She's going to be fine or she's going to pass. But if she's going to pass, I'm going to like hold her tightly and make her feel comfortable right now.
Yep. That is a
So that was a lesson for my mom. It's like when she loses her stuff, if you tell her trash can blew over,
mhm.
and then here's a semi real life situation with a living being that she's like witnessing my calm about it. So I feel like maybe she'll realize now when she's calling me to be upset about a trash can blowing over that, you know, maybe she'll see that there's another way to handle the situation.
Yep.
There's another way, like there are other ways. Like we've been programmed by the human construct that there are certain reactions to certain things. And I had a best friend when I was younger who lost her mom at 16. And I mean, gosh, I just think that's one of the hardest ages to possibly lose a parent, let alone
Yeah.
a girl losing her mom.
Yep.
And to watch with grace how she handled that, it was the first time I saw a human being handle death in this sort of way.
Wow.
And I went with I would go with her to picnics up where her mom's ashes were, and we just always celebrated her mom. And of course, does this mean she didn't have hard times? Absolutely not. Of course she had hard times, of course. But all in all, the way she dealt with losing a parent or death in general was a way that I've never seen before in my life. And 6 months later, I had my first like loss in my family.
Mm.
And of course, my mom is screaming and, on the floor. And I just kind of took what I learned from Michelle and went, well, it doesn't have to, I don't have to be that way.
Mhm.
It's okay if you are, if that's how you feel. Like when we react to things, we all have how we feel about it. But I just knew that it didn't have to be like that,
Yep.
that I could just go, okay, you know what I mean? And still grieve and still have an upset and still it's not okay. It's not fun, but I knew there was a different way to handle it.
Totally.
So that's just how we can learn. That's how we learn from each other.
Yeah.
And I believe that, God puts different people in our paths. And like in your example of the woman and her child,
Mhm.
it's kind of like a prayer. She was saying from her heart to God, like,
Yep.
I need help with this.
Mm.
That prayer was answered through you,
Mm. Good
and that's
call. Oh, that's like a triangle. You're right, Brooke. That's a really good way of thinking it. Like she's sending that energy out. I need help. I need help. How her guides are hearing it, also sending that message out. Her God, obviously, and then connecting it with me, who then connects with her. Oh my gosh, that is
so
brilliant.
however it is that you pray, some
Yeah.
people pray out loud. Some
Yeah.
people, pray out loud. Some people have these beautiful, wordy, wonderful prayers.
Hmm.
Some people, that prayer is just simply from their heart.
Yep.
that their heart is calling out, I need help, I need help. And they use, other beings to answer those prayers.
Yeah.
If it's able to be done physically in this realm by another person, they use that to answer the prayer.
Wow. Yeah. That makes so much sense. So that is awesome. Okay, awesome. Very cool. So, wow. All right. I'm trying to think. Not trying to think, trying to feel. I'll share something with you though. As you were talking the entire time, there was another way that we communicate. It just is coming to me now
Okay.
when you were talking. So, but let me reiterate the three. So we got the physical, and there are ample stories there. Your friend in work that one day who, when you talked about somebody and they were like, "Oh, okay, thanks," and you were like, "Wow, there was no reaction there." Like that's another. That's one I always. I've. That's a good one as well. The physical body, the soul travel, communication, and then what was let me see, hold on, I have them written down here, sorry. uh what Oh, the heart, yeah, through the heart. So, but the other one that was coming to me as you were talking, and I'm like, whoa, am I getting information?
Yeah.
Was consciousness. And and this is one, they walked me through a meditation, third dimension. Okay, so let's regroup here in the sense that we already know that each dimension has its own conscious level, right? Its own consciousness. So we're in the third dimensional. These bodies are third dimensional, and then you have third all the way up to 12, really one all the way up to 12, but we're in the third dimensional right now. So, and you think about it, right? Like dinosaurs were like one dimension, they were first dimension. So you
Yeah.
see almost the progression of this planet and its ascension process, and then we come in, and we're like more third dimensional consciousness.
Yeah.
Like dinosaurs didn't know how to really communicate. They just, you know, were anyway. So if you look back and you start to see and notice, oh my gosh, the consciousness grows, and then we expand,
Hmm.
so we're third dimensional. And then what they did is they walked me through a meditation and to explain this to me on how, on a conscious level, we begin to interact with each other. And what they did was, okay, so picture picture, if you will, picture the yellow brick road in the Wizard of Oz, right? But picture there's nothing but complete darkness around you. All right, so it's completely dark. However, the only light that illuminates is from your heart, right? So your heart starts to illuminate this small area around you. And this is how they're showing me consciousness interacts with each other. So everywhere you turn your heart, that's where it lights. Okay. But what you can do is expand your heart. And that is a representation of filling your aura with light that was channeled through Archangel Michael that time. All right.
Yeah.
So as we fill our physical body and our consciousness with light, more of our higher selves from these other dimensional realms that have their own consciousness start to come down, and they interact with our third dimensional consciousness. Well, as our aura expands with light, then our heart brightens and more of our path is illuminated. We see more of it, right?
Yeah.
And that is why we sometimes don't know what the next step is in our process, because our heart is still feeling, and that aspect hasn't been revealed yet. Holy moly, this is like channeled information. This is
I
coming to
know.
me as we speak. So, so as our as our heart brightens and is filled with more light and is filled with more consciousness from these higher dimensions, it illuminates more of our current path in this lifetime of our third dimensional selves. More of that is revealed to us, like next steps and stuff like that. So if you're ever stuck, or you not, I'm sorry, you are never, if you feel as if you are stuck, then we need to take a step back and continue to fill ourselves with love. Just be, be that loving self, and to allow the aura to expand more and thus reveal more of our next steps, more of our path to us. So, all right, now this is where it gets interesting, because when you pass, right, your consciousness from the third dimension is still there. And what they did was they showed me campfires on the side of the road, on the yellow brick road. They showed me campfires that were off to the side that represent your past lives. So every time you pass from a past life, you have a campfire. Now, were you of a great light, were you a dim light, that is all significant. And each one
Mm.
that we leave is, it provides light to other people around us, including the heart. So my heart right now, it illuminates in every direction that I shine, right? And other souls see that. So anybody that I come in contact with physically will see that on a soul level. And thus they know, their souls are like, okay, this is someone that we can go to, we can
Yeah.
learn from. And I get that all the time. There are a lot of souls that are learning from all of us.
Yes.
So, but with each life, we leave a campfire off to the side, right? And with each life, hopefully you begin to expand that campfire, so that when you come back into this realm, you have those campfires to go back to. And that helps you achieve more light and love, because you're like, okay, I've already achieved this, and I can go back to it, to pick it up, to carry it with me, to put more light in there, to reveal more of my path. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like I'm trying. It does, and like the
It,
whole time I'm just thinking about just even with how when my dad passed away, my grandfather passed away, how I still learn from them.
exactly, because
How
their
like
light is also accessible by other
yes,
people. Very, very,
because
exactly.
most of
Thank
my
you.
lessons still now in life I can trace back to my dad and my grandfather.
Yep.
And I feel like it's them teaching me the lesson right now, because it'll be things that like they did when I was younger that I'm just now going, oh, that's why he did that. Oh, he was smart. Like, I can't believe that he was planting that seed in us then. You know
Yes.
what I mean?
Yep.
So, like, I can look back at things that my grandfather did or said, which he usually didn't say much. It was always just what he did
Mhm.
that spoke the most. And, like, looking back now, it's like, so I still feel like they are huge guides in my life, you
Absolutely.
know? Yeah. And so a lot of the wisdom was from my grandfather, like that true, almost I want to say like that native wisdom was from my grandfather. My dad was like an amazing human. You never heard him talk about somebody. He was all honesty. He like honesty and integrity. Like my dad's picture should be next to that. Like when it comes to like integrity, that was my dad. What I learned recently when I think was it you and I talking about, no, how did I come to this? I had a big thing this week on it was to do with my grandmother. It was okay. So one of my lessons this week, it just all came back to me, was I was like, gosh, this is gonna sound really nasty of me, guys, so bear with me. I was like, of my 8 immediate family members, 4 of which are gone in the higher realm, 4 of which are here. I was like, if I switch those 4 out for the other 4, we'd be like rocking life right now. And I went, oh, that's why they're there. Because they were rocking, not, and I don't want, they weren't perfect. They weren't perfect beings. They weren't, but one thing that the 4 of them had in common was they loved life. They just loved life and they lived life. They didn't wake up in the morning and complain. They didn't wake up in the morning and go, what am I going to do today? Like they just lived life and they didn't complain about life and they had fun in life. And like the 4 I'm with here now don't know how to do this. They're just like, oh, they'll wake up in the morning with anxiety because they don't know what to do for the day. They'll wake up with, and so it's like, oh, those 4 passed the test. They passed, but they passed the test. they learned how to be happy here. They learned how to find their joy here. They just lived life.
Mhm.
And, there's some of us that think spiritually that there's all the stuff we have to do. Like, oh, we gotta drink lots of water. We better just eat fresh stuff. We better, do this many meditations a day, this many prayers, and all these things are great and all these things are good. But when I think back to my grandmother's example, she loved life, lived life. She walked around with her bottle of vodka, smoked her cigarettes, played cards with her friends, and watched golf. That was just her, but that was her just being. It's like she didn't go out and in her way, like how we think we have to go out and change the world, which we do, like we do. But she just was. And
Mhm.
she just was, and she's happy. And it may be one person's mission to go out and physically be doing things for people. It may be somebody's mission for just to be here, that their souls are anchored here so well that they're able to do soul work that they don't even know that they're doing. And all that just came to me right there, because
Mhm.
the soul work. So it's like my grandmother, a super spiritual being or super spiritual human who thinks you're spiritual, may have looked at her and been like, oh, well, she's not really doing much. She's just, sitting in her house playing cards with her friends and smoking and drinking vodka. Where maybe she was so grounded
Mhm.
that her soul was doing a lot of work.
Totally.
Because I used to think that grounding, I used to look at it in a different way. But now I realize when the guides were telling me to ground, they kind of meant, Brooke, bring yourself down to earth a little bit and feel like the humans. Like, stop being so up there.
Mhm.
You have to bring yourself down and be part of this.
Mhm.
Come back to this ground, be part of this to be able to help them.
Totally.
Because if I'm so, I don't know, I'm rambling now.
No, that's all good.
But yeah, the thing that those four had in common was that they learned to enjoy life,
Yeah.
to where the ones that are still here are still struggling a lot, and they may still have a lot to learn,
Yes.
as do a lot of us,
Totally. Yeah.
you know?
So, and if I can take that back to the campfires, it's awesome because they set their campfire, right? They know it. But what is so cool about that, Brooke, is that your relatives now have their campfires all set, and with their own lessons. Each campfire has the each lesson of your relative's soul. But what's so cool about this is that it remains in this conscious level, in this dimensional realm. What
Yeah.
happens is other souls can now pick up on that fire.
Yes.
They can learn from that consciousness. And the fire is just a representation of the consciousness that was left from the physical, you know?
Yeah.
So what you did in your physical, that's all left. But, it works both ways. So there's density too. But these campfires illuminate. So all the love, all the lessons that you learned in each lifetime, those are campfires, and other souls can come in and pick that up. They can learn from that, and they do. There's a conscious level of learned lessons that all these souls can learn from and grow from as well. So yeah, I mean, there's a ton here. So there are several different ways our souls are currently learning and working with each other. And the more that we can rise above and to be of service to each other, because ultimately that's really what it comes down to, is helping each other and loving each other in whatever way that you feel that is so helpful and
Yeah.
leaves basically your soul's legacy in this dimensional realm consciousness.
Yeah. I believe a lot happens in our human sleeping hours.
Totally.
I
Yeah.
believe, yeah. And so we talk about just that's a time that souls get together and communicate. But I also believe that's where a lot of our healing. So if you ever watch the like 1970s, it's only like 30 minutes. Google it, the 1970s version of Puff the Magic Dragon.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what,
I've seen that.
yeah. And so have I, but I saw it with new eyes the last time I watched it. And I didn't pick up on everything that was super deep in that. doctors come along. And it appears like I would almost say whatever was wrong with Jackie, it could almost be equated to how we see like autism today. So these doctors come along, these very society people come along. It's like, oh yeah, there's nothing you can do for him. Blah, blah, blah. Just kind of keep him in his room and do the best you can do for him. Well, so when Puff comes, Puff takes Jackie Draper's soul. Well, they call him Jackie Paper. It's almost like they turned Jackie Draper into Jackie Paper and took him to Honolulu. But now that you know what we know, you know that that was signifying that he was taking his soul away for healing.
Mhm.
And he showed Jackie a lot of his Jackie Paper. Jackie Draper was still in his room. Jackie Paper is who went to Honolulu
Mhm.
and had lots of experiences of facing fears and facing certain things. That way, when his soul went back in, or Jackie Paper went back and put him back in Jackie Draper, there was a healing done because his soul had got to experience some of these fears and he got to overcome some of these things.
Mhm.
Which that all came to me because I had a friend call me this week with, a nightmare. And it just came to me then. And I was like, I used to always just say, like, I don't really know what dreams are. I think they can be a lot of things. They can be, maybe a fear you have. They can be this. Now that I look at it, it's all training. Like when my friend had this horrifying dream and the way that she handled this situation in this dream was definitely not a way that she would have handled it if
Mhm.
it had happened in real life. So like that's why I told her, I was like, see, your soul got to have this experience for you to like kind of face that fear and then be able to grow, because our minds can only comprehend what they've seen. So sometimes I believe that even nightmares are a gift because it's having you face a fear and seeing you like overcome it,
Mhm.
and even though she was still scared in the dream, she still had to face something. And so I believe there's huge soul growth in those experiences of facing fears, especially in dreams.
I
I
would
think that
agree.
nightmares are a big part of like a soul growth,
Mhm.
because our number one goal is do not be afraid.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's one of our number one goals.
Totally.
So,
Totally. And to take that Puff the Magic Dragon story that you were saying, when we pass our souls, there is a level of consciousness that our soul is still here. Now the campfire is kind of like that representation of the soul, that the aspect of consciousness from the soul that still remains here. And that soul now travels. It starts to interact with the living, with the physical realm to help them rise. But in
yes.
addition to helping us rise, it is also helping itself rise. It is still learning from the way in which we are doing things. And you're exactly right, Brooke. Like through the dreams, overcoming fear. Like that soul, that campfire, which is a representation of the soul, is still a conscious thing. And that consciousness is what mediums tap into. That is what we are using. So
Yes.
we and when we tap into that, I'm sorry. So and they tell me all the time that when a soul, when a physical, when the physical life ends, the soul is still living, still learning, and still helping. And that is a huge aspect to understand. And that's why, like, I feel death to us is so different. It's not what it used to be. It's not, it's just that physical aspect that is not here anymore. But all the consciousness, all the energy that that person carried, in the loving sense, is still here. And we are capable of tapping into that, of still interacting with it. I just had an interaction last night with my cousin that passed away last December. It was
Hmm.
amazing. She came to me and literally took over my third eye and started to talk to me and interact with me and show me different things. But that is just basically her
Yeah.
campfire's way of coming in and learning from me and having me learn from her. So
Yeah. And you are just, you're a being that's very aware of when that's happening. But this is happening for everybody, whether they're aware of it or not,
true that.
you know? But it's just like there's some of us that are just so much more aware of like, oh, I know why that butterfly just went by. Oh, I know why I just had that whoosh of a feeling.
Hmm.
But whether you're aware of it or not, this is happening to you. This is happening to everyone.
It's a great point.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, and that's where we have to start making decisions. And honestly, guys, I'm going to be a little bit direct here. It's we got to stop playing around with the like the time has come for you to step into your own and to be who you're meant to be and to be that light. We're in the age of Aquarius. The shaman resonance that measures the amount of frequency that comes into this earth just spiked the other day, astronomically high. I think the highest ever recorded, which is an indication of how much more light is being brought in. And Brooke and I talked about it in the last podcast. There was a shift earlier in January, a major shift. And since that point, things are beginning to change. And I told you about that Fran Javier who talked about a revelation, which we also talked about the revelation. It's here. The revelation, and he actually indicated that you know Jesus is coming. Now, look, guys, we're not Bible thumpers, nothing like that, but understand that the consciousness is more what they're saying there is the consciousness, Jesus Christ consciousness is more capable of being incorporated into your physical. You can begin to tap into that consciousness, that love, that forgiveness that he had more easily than before. That is why so many of us are having these experiences as well, because the veil it's just thinning so much now, and there's so much more energy that we are capable of, so much energy, so much consciousness that we're able to tap into easily with not too much effort. We can tap into it and begin to understand and acquire information that we don't even know how we're getting it,
Yeah.
which all comes from the third eye. You open your third eye and you're just going to start like getting these profound knowings like, oh crap, that what, how do I even know that? And yet you do. Like, and I'm talking about you'll get information about physical situations. I have interactions with students where I'm like, I don't even know how I'm going to teach this student a certain, goal that he has. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it'll just come to me. Not
Mm-hmm.
because I'm thinking about it, but
Right.
because I'm simply open to that consciousness. It'll come and then bam, everything starts to shift. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, makes sense."
So what's happening right now and why some people are having a way harder time at life right now than others is right now we are being called to be who we truly are. And
Mhm.
that is our soul. Our soul is who we
Yup,
truly are.
yup.
But from the time we were born, this is, society, we had stuff put on us by our parents. We had stuff put on us by, oh no, like this is what we do. You go to high school, you go to the prom, you get really excited about prom, you play sports, you get that Letterman's jacket. We have all of these societal programs that are on us that make us think we have to be these certain ways.
Exactly.
So the people that are very much into, this is what you do, this is how we've always done it, they're having a really hard time right now, because it's like this human shell is trying to, like, our soul is trying to hawk smash that and throw it off of us right now.
Mhm.
But some people are holding on to all these things that have been put on them for so long, and they're holding on to them. Those are the people who right now they're having a really difficult time. The more open you are and the more you are just being in your soul and being in your heart and going, who was I before I had all these ideas put on me about what we're supposed to be doing, how we're supposed to be doing it. So these are our souls. I mean, can you imagine how beautiful it's going to be when we are able to have all that human stuff shed off of us and we are just who we truly are?
Mhm.
Like, just we can go, we say what we say what's in our heart, we say what's in our, because yeah, right now it's that human junk that is trying to be taken off of us, that some of us are fighting so hard to hold on to. And
Mhm.
that's those are the people having the more difficult time right now.
Yep.
Don't hold on to that human junk, let it go.
Let go.
Yeah, I mean,
Profound words.
down to like every little thing. Like, I have, like, my mom is losing her mind that, because I'm homeschooling my kids now, and she's like, they, but high school sports, I have to come watch them play high school sports. And I'm like, what sport are these two gonna play? Like, you want to see Leah? She's over at the skate park skating, and she's going snowboarding tonight. Like, that's a sport. Like,
Mhm.
just because she wants to do that school thing, the society thing that you
Yep.
brag about your grandchild that's playing a sport, you take pictures of them playing that sport. And then she talked about Jonah, and she's like, well, there's lots of sports. I'm like, yeah, name one that Jonah's going to play that doesn't involve like Minecraft or Fortnite or, you know, I was like, he tries to like run an obstacle course and he's like, oh, mom, I think I twisted my ankle. I was like, he's not our sports guy. But she is so into, well, other grandmothers are posting pictures of their grandchildren playing sports. Like, that's what we're supposed to be doing. And
Mhm.
that's just a very simple, silly example of this programming that's on us, you
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
With my kids being home, she's like, the cap and gown, they have to walk, the cap and gown. I was like, Mom, I will buy a cap and gown and I'll put it on them and you could like post a picture and pretend like they're tell people they're valedictorian for all I care. Like, you know what I mean? But it's like, if that's what you need, but see, I don't need any of that.
Yeah.
I'm ready to just be free. I am ready to, I am so done with this matrix. It's not even funny.
Yes.
I just
Yeah.
gotta bring other people there with me.
So true. I mean, that's a these are great points. Exactly. And I had man, I had a story and I'm losing it. It's so funny. I'm losing it as
I'm sorry. It's just that our souls really want to be our souls right now.
so yeah,
They just
absolutely.
want to be their souls and they just want to go around connecting with everybody and they just want to be one. They just want to like have fun right now.
So true. So true.
And
Yeah.
we've got so much that we're just holding them down with. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, just found it. So yeah, I completely agree with you. And that and your definition of who we are, I thought was beautiful because just this week I started two new classes in school in college. And the professor asks us to answer some questions in a video format. So we had to the first question he asks is who you are. And I'm like, look, I know you're looking for a superficial answer there, who am I, how do I identify myself superficially? But I'm like, I can't do that. I am a spiritual being here to bring light and to help humanity grow.
Did you
That is
say, I am what I am? That would have been the great answer.
oh man, that would have been actually. I did
Like,
not.
so somebody asks you, I am what I am. Just, just get goofy,
That's
start
funny.
tripping people out, make them just lose all that crap that's on them, you
Yeah,
know?
totally. I
Uh,
completely agree. So awesome. And just okay, so we'll recap real quick. I just want to make sure you guys are aware. The four different ways that souls communicate. The heart space. Oh, I'm sorry. An image that they continuously show me. They've shown me this a number of times over the past couple weeks when connecting with the heart space. So they showed me walking in a line, right? And then there was like a representation of all of humanity walking in the opposite direction next to me, right? So I'm walking down one street by myself, and then right next to me is humanity walking. And this is when I say me, it's really each of you are walking in
right.
one direction, humanity walking the opposite. And what you are doing, they visualized for me that candle in my heart, and they continuously say that the heart, the love in your heart is eternal, so it can never end. And they showed me an image of me handing a candle out to every single person that I passed in this line that was walking by me, which is a representation of all humanity. So as I walk to them, I am seeing their heart, I'm viewing them from their heart, not their actions, not their words, simply their heart. And I am giving a piece of love from me to them as I pass them. And they keep saying, don't worry about the candle and you going dimmer, or you're giving out too much, because it's always coming in from above. Just keep giving out love, just keep being that love. What that was a representation of. And if you can connect to people on that level, you will see them from a completely different lens. You'll see them from a soul's level, and you'll see the lessons that they're learning, and you'll also see the physical lessons that they're learning, both on a soul and a physical level. And then the campfire is basically your soul's legacy in this dimension. I mean, obviously that legacy is going to grow, but it's something to be aware of as you are growing and we're making choices. Do we want those choices to be high vibrational, and that will thus equate to your campfire growing more in light, basically your aura as well. Every high vibrational choice we make, we expand our aura, we expand our campfire, we expand our legacy of love and light. Then the soul travel and the physical aspects. So I think those are more self-explanatory.
Yeah. No, I think I was gonna say I think we're getting ready to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. All right.
Yep.
So do you mind if I channel real quick?
No, go
All right.
ahead. That's what I
Awesome.
was.
Thank you. Grateful we are beings of light. We are pleased by this representation of messages that we have been showing to all, including Brooke and Christopher, but not just. For you all have been experiencing these learned lessons over the course of some time now. It is simply Enoch speaking. It is simply a matter of beginning to open up to the divine communication coming in from above to allow the guidance of love. And yes, we say love to be the true guide in which you operate in this realm. It will allow for so much more density to be revealed. There is a message that we tell you now. There is only one way to, wow, chase away the darkness, my children, and that is to turn on your own light, your own love from within. And we stress the idea and indication of from within, for this is where the light switch is. This is where the growth in which it all occurs. It starts within you and thus from then begins to illuminate more onto others. And this is a concept that we drill into you all now, an understanding that is deeper in soul communication, we tell you, and hopefully ask that you begin to learn and grow from within and from the heart space, to allow the heart space to be the true guidance at which we come to, for it is the true guidance in which we come to you from the heart space, the solar plexus. It is this region of the physical that allows for the manifestations of other ways of communication to occur. And yes, the manifestation of these communications does begin from the intuitive mind that lies within the heart and solar plexus. It is from here that we will begin to nudge you in particular directions to allow for the growth from within the heart to occur and thus radiate out to many others. It is this radiation of light and love that you carry with you on a regular basis that will allow us to begin to allow your soul to travel more deeply, more further in location, to begin to interact with more souls. For you are a messenger, a light being, a light worker, and these different ways, light healer, and these different ways of communicating with the physical will allow your soul to expand to the point that it begins to travel more and affect the lives of so many more in this realm. And yes, we do say the world for which you live is very possible communication from here. I'm sorry, I'm seeing a vision of the world, and your soul is literally going around the world. And yes, for we are indicating to you now that your travel is limitless. From a soul's perspective, you are capable of affecting change from a loving perspective around the world. There is no limitation and holdbacks once you begin to open up the heart and live from within the heart. You will experience life on a different means, a different understanding, a conceptual difference that will come to you, that will begin to shed its own light upon you. And thus, from this, you will begin to affect change in other individuals as their souls too are attempting to rise. And those souls too want to be more loving, want to affect change in their own physical bodies that they inherit at this very moment. It is only through which love that this will be done. Any indication and holding on to of the density that is within this realm only provides more opportunity for density to be stagnant here. And this is not something that we are in favor of. We are asking you now to turn on your own light and to see the illumination at which your heart will illuminate that which is in front of you. And we are so grateful. As he was saying that, I could see just a ton of darkness. And then as soon as he said, turn the light on, it literally was like a switch. How that switch takes away that darkness, and now you can see. And that's what I was seeing in my third eye there. For yes, we are so grateful for this message and opportunity to connect with you all. The conceptual differences that are coming to this realm are tremendous in nature, and each individual is experiencing these energies in many different ways. We ask you now not judge these individuals, but to hold on to the truth that is within you, and that is love can change and affect all, my children. Be that love, be the guiding light that all of us need, and do not engage in discord or judgments. Judgments are not needed. Do not engage in fear. Fear is not needed. For when you are of pure love and light, there is no other manifestation of another emotional trait that is necessary to hold on to other than gratitude. For we do ask for your gratitude in the efforts that other souls are providing. Not sure what word he's using there. For they, both low dimensional and high vibrational, are all showing you messages. It is a matter of choice at which you hold on to at this point. You may hold on to low vibrational density. But what does that bring to you, my children? It brings fear, hatred, judgment. And this is not beneficial to the human soul, to the third dimensional soul, or even to the higher selves. For your higher selves, your dimensional connections are all attempting to come through you, to work with you, to begin to help you rise. And we tell you now, you are all capable of rising, should you so choose. It is a matter of aspect and truth that you hold on to. Your truth that you hold within your heart is your truth. And it is important that we ask you now to be of the light and love, and to allow light, love, and gratitude to be your truth and only your truth. For this will allow the true understanding and conceptual difference to be shed upon you, the information that comes with it. And we do ask you now to be this, to be that light, to be the love. And so grateful for the opportunities that are coming to you, my children, for they are beautiful. And the time has come for you to step into your own as we would like. And as your soul so desires. Every soul is on an ascension process, an ascension path. It is a matter at which they are in the step, in the process. Some may be at a lower frequency at others at this very moment in time, but this is not indicative of the soul not trying, my children. It is a matter of the part in their process that they are at this very moment in time. And we ask you now to not judge them, but instead to love them greatly and kindly, for they are showing you a new understanding, a new way of life, a new way of loving. And the new way of loving is what we would like to communicate to you now. The new way of loving is so vitally important to this realm and its successful process of the ascension process of not only yourself, but of this earth realm. And we ask you now to go in peace and love, to sit with this information and to allow it to incorporate more into your being. And this will provide you great opportunities of knowledge growth, of potential growth within your heart, of opening up the light that is within you so that you may turn on your own light even more, to increase the intensity of light within you, to chase away even more darkness, and to be illuminating for others to see. And we are so grateful for this. Enoch speaking. Thank you. Archangel Michael speaking. We are pleased by this opportunity. Archangel Metatron coming in. My friends, be at peace at this moment, for the light of love is ascending now. We come to you as a direct representation of this light, for we are representatives of the light, messengers, if you will, that bring to you now a greater level of understanding. Enoch has so diligently provided to you now. We ask all of you, as ascendant masters, archangels, and light beings and light messengers, to be who you are as the soul level and to begin to view those around you from the soul's aspect. This will provide you a different level of understanding, a different level of light infused interaction. And this is what we are looking for, the changes in your physical behavior to be more loving, to be more light filled when you are being around other individuals. It will help you not only, but these other souls as well. Any discord or judgments or fear that we hold on to and begin to interact with others from a sense of will only build more of it, my children. This, we tell you now, is the age of Aquarius and is no longer needed. Step into your light and be the individual that you are meant to be from a soul's perspective, and view it from this perspective, and you will find your way. For each way, individual is looking for their next step in the process, but we tell you now, it will not come to you unless you are being of light. For the density will cloud your judgment, will cloud your messages, will cloud your intuition, in which we are all manners, in which we are all coming to you. This is not beneficial to your soul or your physical body. When you are of the light, you will allow for more opportunity for us to connect to you. And we have instructed you on this many times in the past. We ask you, Archangel Metatron speaking, to be the light and allow for these messages to come to you, to allow for our guidance to be with you always. And when you are of the light, they will be revealed. Trust this, my children. Know it within your heart, for your heart is where we lie and the feeling at which we will come to you from. Be that light. Be in the moment and allow, my children, be. Thank you. We love you all truly and greatly. Go in peace and love. We will be with you always. Ask for our assistance, and we shall be there. And we cannot interfere in your free will. It is something that we are not capable of doing, but we do assist. And we say now, we do assist with the living souls to begin to use them to assist with the living, other living individuals to help with their soul's growth, so that they may see from a lower dimensional realm, the third dimensional realm, that it is possible to incorporate more of that light and love into this physical realm. It is from these individuals that so much is learned and has brought us to this point in this realm. Be the light for another. And we are grateful for this opportunity. Go in peace, my children. Love you all, always. Archangel Metatron speaking. Enoch speaking. Archangel Michael speaking. Peace be with you.
Thank you.
All right.
So I told Metatron to come in and say hi today
No way.
this
Are you
morning.
serious?
Yes.
Wow.
I was just in the bathroom brushing my teeth. I was like, hey, Metatron, hi. Like, why don't you come in and say hi today?
No way. Oh, that's crazy, Brooke.
Yeah, the only reason I say him is because I was just once told that that's one of my main connections.
Well, I would say clearly it is, because he heard
Yeah.
it and he comes in. That's awesome.
Yeah. So the whole time I'm thinking, so a lot of it was just, I mean, you can see how important this may be the most important aspect of our being, is what they keep telling us over and over and over again, to be the light, to
Mm-hmm.
be the light. But they did explain a couple times, see, we need everybody at these different levels, because as much as the lower consciousness beings learn from us,
Mm-hmm.
we also learn from them.
Amen.
Because a big part of manifesting is you have to know what you don't want in order to work harder at what you do want. So it's like, if everything was semi peachy keen, we'd all just sit here all peachy keen and not move.
Mm-hmm.
But when those of us at a different conscious level look at the ones that we go, well, we don't want to be like that, it makes sure that we see what we don't want to know what to ask for that we do want to make this. And once we start making it better, we'll make it better for them also. And they'll
Brilliant.
be able to rise up. But we got to have those, we have to have that polarity. Like I said, as much as they learn from us, we learn from them.
Mm-hmm.
And neither one of us could move without the other.
Amen to that.
We need all the links, all the puzzle pieces. But I think other than that, I think that it was just very concise. You know, even though they said it, they were just saying many times over and over again the different ways and just how important it is. And I believe that's the key. Just the key is to be the light that you can be.
Mm-hmm.
And just be open. Just be open.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when somebody's talking to you and you're interacting with somebody, I mean, honestly, the yuckier somebody's acting when you're interacting with them, just know that maybe that person was brought into your path for you just to let them talk, let them be yucky, but just as they're talking, go into your heart and just go, oh man, I sent this person love. I send this person love.
Mhm.
Maybe that's one of the most important things to do right now. The more disgusted you are by somebody, flip that and know that's the more they need you to send them something from your heart right now. But
True.
I think that just channeling said it all. And I think that's, and just in these times, keep being kind to yourself and be extra, extra, extra kind to others.
Mhm. Amen. Yeah.
That's it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Brooke, and thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, and thank you all for listening. Man, we so appreciate you, and hopefully you guys are getting something from this. Oh, if I could give a quick shout out,
Yes.
I have seen that there are a number of people from like Ireland and India who are listening on like Spotify or some other kind of Apple or something. I don't know, but hey, shout out to you guys, and shout out to all of our locals too.
I mean,
Hey,
being
thank you.
from, Delaware, that's really exciting to think about. People from like Ireland and India.
Yeah,
Or so, hey,
totally.
yeah,
You
that's
know,
awesome.
more of a testament, that we are affecting change around the world. So continue to be that light,
Yeah.
and all of our
I mean,
local
like
friends.
I said, I don't check I think Chris gets the direct thing if there's comments. I don't. I try to get back and check. Yeah, if you're from somewhere else other than like this little part of the East Coast in Delaware, like, yeah, drop it and let us know. Like,
Mhm.
let us know where you're from. Even
Totally.
if it's somewhere else in the United States, like, let us know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. If you could let us know where you're from, that would be so cool. So if you go like on the YouTube or rumble.com, youtube.com, or Spotify or anything, or go to our website, openenergy.com, and send us an email and just let us know where you're from. Man, that would be so cool. Yeah. Cause I would love
Yeah.
to hear from all of you from all over the world. Oh, because it only takes 1% of us, 1% of us to be that light. Okay. If we can, 1% of us can be that light, we can change this world to be light full. That's
Yeah.
powerful.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you
Thank
all so
you.
much. Appreciate you all. See you next time.
Bye.
See you.